Hi folks, now we're going a bit off piste again here. Well, maybe not too much, but a little bit. This is again not a UK legal carry knife unless you have a good purpose, but I think this is one where if you have a purpose for using a knife, this will be much more acceptable than a lot, because, well, as we go through it you'll see. I think this would be much easier to convince somebody that you're using this as a working knife and not just because you want a fancy flipper or whatever, because it's not that. It's a nice knife though, a really nice knife. Now, this is designed by a German who is a knife collector of himself. You know, he just collects knives, but he's designed a few knives now. His name is Arthur Brehm, and he's he's designed a couple of really nice knives. This is the only one I have of them. He's also, as I have, adopted a dog. In fact, he's adopted two dogs from Spain, from the Pereira. You know, in Spain, dog pound it's not the Dogs Trust. It's somewhere where dogs go to wait to be put down. And I rescued one of my dogs from there, and he's the most fantastic dog I've ever owned. Just a brilliant dog, a Catalan sheepdog. Well, Arthur's also adopted two dogs from Spain and has similar things to say. Anyway, enough of that. Let's go on to the knife. First thing is, it does come with this nice, really nicely made leather belt sheath. Don't know how much I use belt sheaths, but you know, comes with that, and it's a really good one. It also has, however, a clip. I think it would be an either or. There is a lanyard hole, so you could put a lanyard on it and put it in the belt sheath, or you can use it clipped into your pocket. I've been carrying it today, just clipped into my pocket. It's available in different finishes. I went for the wood scales, which are snakewood. Snakewood is standard. It's not like an extra premium. You can get it in green, quite a lurid green, jig bone. I wasn't sure about that. The G10 version, and I think it's G10 and micarta combined. It's one of these ones where you've got layers of blue and black, and as it's crowned, it ends up with sort of contour lines going around the handle. Well, I quite like I've always liked desert ironwood. I only got one other. Oh, sorry, I've always liked exotic woods. I've not got another snakewood one at all. I've got a desert ironwood one. But I like the really nice figuring in these really quite dense, hard woods. So it has a sort of traditional pattern. You know, you could see this if I told you this was another of my Sheffield knives. If it wasn't for the big bolt type pivot, you would probably believe me if I told you it was an anchor, an Otto anchor messer, which he was accused, I think, by some people of copying, although the guy that invented the anchor messer, or makes the anchor messer, said absolutely no, there's no truth in that. It has that very traditional. It could be British, it could be German, it could be a Solingen knife. That is actually made by QSP, so I think it's made actually manufactured in China. But anyway, it has a couple of problems in the UK, and one that it's a little bit too big, and two that it's a lockback. But just open this up now. I'm just going to do this on here because I want you to be able to see how good the action is. So, you know, it's relatively easy to open. Oops. It's easy to get fingerprints on. Very easy. Too easy, maybe. And now this is a sheep's foot blade. But like I say, it's quite big. This is a working knife. So, just for comparison, there's the Rough Rider work knife, and you can see that it's bigger in both the handle and considerably bigger in the blade. Not only is it longer in the blade, obviously it is, but it's just a much bigger. It's funny actually. Yeah, there are. It's a bit more even. And this is not a small knife. This is as big a knife as you can legally carry in the UK without having to give a good reason. This, on the other hand, there's a chunky knife. There's a good, good handhold on that. There's no. Now I've got quite big hands, so I wear extra large gloves, and yet there's plenty there. I'm going to zoom out a bit. This is one of those. Need a bit more screen room to get it on there. Now, this has on here, if I can make it work, Arthur Brehm's logo. It's his signature. On the other side, it has the QSP mark. And in terms of steel, I think it's N690 steel. It's funny, if you watch this back, you'll be able to see that really clearly, and I've really struggled to see it. I don't know. There we are. But anyway, it's a really nice wood, well made, and the other thing it has, and I don't know if I'll be able to show this. I shall try. Right. Now, if I am able to push that lock back down with one hand, struggling with this. So I'm going to do this slightly on camera, slightly off camera. I have an idea. Right, here we go. Now I'm going to press the lock back. You watch what the blade does. Can press it hard enough. Okay. Now if I try pressing the lock back now, see that blade? Free dropping. And that is because it runs on bearings. So if it was a traditional knife, of course, you'd have to you couldn't really run it on bearings because you have to be able to take it to bits and clean those bearings out. But this being a modern traditional knife, you can take it to bits. It's just a lovely knife. It's a completely flat ground satin blade, real fingerprint magnet. I'm not quite sure what happened here, but there is a bit of a mark on the blade here, and the same on the other side. It doesn't seem to just wipe off. I don't know if it's something that's on the blade or if it is in fact scratched into it. I'll give that some attention. I've only had this about a week, so in a way this is kind of a first glimpse video, but I'm really taking this knife. I think it's really, really nice, and with that slip, I think it's also really good value for money. Now, I can't just carry this as my everyday carry knife, much as I would love to. I mean, that's as non-threatening as you're ever going to get. It's not pointy. You're not going to stab anybody with it. It is extremely sharp, and you could, I suppose, give somebody a nasty slice if that was your intent. But, it's certainly no more dangerous than that. And this I can carry without even a justification. So I sometimes feel a bit frustrated by this. But if I had a job to do that required a knife, and a knife with a locking blade that I was going to do some tough cutting with, then I would feel perfectly happy to try and justify that to any policeman in the land and wouldn't worry about it. So anyway, I think it's a nice stuff. I'll probably do another video on this in the new year once I've had a chance to really carry it and use it a bit. And by that time, you may see it all a bit, you know, bashed up and stuff, and maybe it will be. But in the meantime, I think it's a great knife. It's really well made, really nicely designed. I think I'm probably going to take that clip off it at some point and just use it with the slip, and put a little lanyard on the end, in leather or maybe something in paracord. I think leather would go nice with the snakewood, and I do have some nice round 3mm leather cord which I think might just go through that nicely. Anyway, enough of my wittering. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this stuff, please feel free to tick the thumbs up box, and feel free to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. The 500 giveaway is coming up very, very soon. If we've not already reached 500 by the time you see this, which we very well might, because I think we're about 480 as things stand, and this video is in line of 4 or 5, so it's probably two weeks from me making this to you seeing it. We may have passed the 500. The 500 giveaway will come, but it probably won't be till after Christmas and New Year, because I've got an awful lot on up until and over then, and I want to make sure that when we do it right, and we get the thing out to somebody and it gets to them quickly. And if that means it's got to go to US or Australia or anywhere else, then I don't really want to get lost in the Christmas mailings. So tick the subscribe box, ring the bell, and when it comes up you'll see it. So thank you very much for watching. Bye folks.